Today we discuss a woman who has made a deliberate choice to keep her standards high. And what does that mean? It's not a superficial endeavor, it's not about ego, nor is it about lofty ideals that have no grounding in reality. It is, in fact, a deeply responsible and transformative act. Personal responsibility is the foundation upon which a meaningful life is built. It is the recognition that, while we may not control every external circumstance, we absolutely control our responses to those circumstances. This idea is essential for a woman who keeps her standards high because it places the onus of choice squarely on her shoulders. She understands that her life is a result of the decisions she makes, both big and small, and that if she desires change, she must first start with herself. At the core of personal responsibility is the acceptance of one simple truth: we are accountable for our actions, our thoughts, and our behaviors. It's easy to blame external factors or other people for our misfortune, but a woman who embraces high standards knows that this mentality is counterproductive. While the world may present challenges, setbacks, or even injustice, she does not see herself as a passive victim of fate. Instead, she approaches life with the mindset that no matter the circumstances, she has the power to choose how she reacts, how she learns, and how she grows from every experience. This acceptance of personal responsibility means taking ownership of both successes and failures. It's not enough to take credit for accomplishments while deflecting blame for mistakes. A woman who keeps her standards high knows that growth comes not only from achieving her goals, but also from the lessons learned through her missteps. She reflects on her failures, examining them honestly without self-pity or denial. She asks herself hard questions: what could I have done differently? Where did I go wrong? What can I learn from this to ensure I do not repeat the same mistake? Personal responsibility requires a willingness to make tough choices and sometimes sacrifice immediate gratification for long-term fulfillment. It's about doing what is right even when it's difficult. The woman with high standards does not seek shortcuts or easy answers. She recognizes that true success is not about avoiding hardship, but about confronting it with courage and resilience. In every decision, she asks herself if it aligns with her values, her goals, and her vision for the kind of person she strives to be. If it does, she follows through, even if the path is uncertain or uncomfortable. This approach also involves being honest with oneself. Personal responsibility means cultivating self-awareness, understanding one's strengths, weaknesses, desires, and fears. A woman who keeps her standards high is not afraid to confront the parts of herself that need improvement. She does not make excuses for her shortcomings or avoid the hard work of self-improvement. Instead, she accepts the parts of herself that are flawed and takes proactive steps to grow. This requires discipline and honesty, two qualities that are often difficult to face in a world that encourages self-deception and comfort. Personal responsibility means that the woman who keeps her standards high is not waiting for someone or something to change her life. She does not rely on external validation or circumstances to determine her worth or direction. She knows that the power to shape her future is within her, and it begins with the choices she makes today. Each moment is an opportunity to live according to her standards, to make decisions that reflect her values and beliefs. And with every choice, she moves one step closer to the person she is becoming, the person she knows she can be. Self-respect and boundaries are vital components of a woman who keeps her standards high. At the heart of self-respect lies the unwavering belief that one is worthy of dignity, consideration, and fairness. It's not just about how others treat her, but how she treats herself. A woman who values herself understands that her well-being is not a secondary concern, but a priority. She does not allow herself to be diminished by the expectations, judgments, or manipulations of others. Self-respect involves recognizing that she is deserving of respect, not because she is perfect, but because she exists as a person of value with inherent worth and dignity. One of the most powerful ways self-respect manifests is in the establishment and maintenance of boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define how she will allow herself to be treated by others. These boundaries are not walls built out of defensiveness or fear, but are drawn from a place of understanding what is necessary to preserve her emotional, mental, and physical health. A woman with high standards does not let others impose their values, demands, or expectations on her, especially when those things conflict with her own sense of self or integrity. She recognizes that to allow others to overstep her boundaries is to undermine her own worth and she is unwilling to make that sacrifice. Setting boundaries is not always easy. It often requires a woman to confront uncomfortable situations and people who may resist her efforts to define what is acceptable and what is not. It's difficult to stand firm in the face of pressure, to say no when expectations clash with personal limits. But a woman who keeps her standards high knows that her boundaries are essential for her own growth and well-being. She does not view boundaries as selfish, but as a healthy way of ensuring she can show up as her best self in the world. In fact, without clear boundaries, she risks losing herself in the demands and desires of others. This means that a woman with high standards is deeply attuned to what feels right and what feels wrong for her. She understands the importance of saying no when necessary, not out of spite, but out of the recognition that saying yes too often or to the wrong things can dilute her sense of self. Her boundaries act as a safeguard, ensuring she is not stretched too thin, overwhelmed, or compromised. She does not allow guilt, manipulation, or fear of conflict to push her beyond what she is comfortable with or what aligns with her core values. Self-respect and boundaries are deeply tied to the woman's sense of personal agency. To maintain high standards, she must believe that her time, energy, and attention are valuable and worthy of investment. She does not waste them on relationships, activities, or pursuits that do not align with her vision for her life. She chooses with discernment where to invest herself, ensuring that every commitment reflects her values and serves her broader purpose. By setting and protecting these boundaries, she is able to guard her emotional and mental resources, ensuring that she has the energy and clarity to focus on what truly matters. This commitment to self-respect and boundaries also enhances her relationships. When she sets clear boundaries, she teaches others how to treat her. She attracts people who respect her boundaries and values, and those who don't are naturally filtered out of her life. While it might initially seem like a challenge to establish boundaries, in the long run, it strengthens her connections and fosters deeper, more genuine relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Striving for excellence is a hallmark of a woman who keeps her standards high. It is not about perfection, but about a continual, deliberate effort to improve in all areas of life. Excellence is a mindset that transcends temporary successes or failures. It is the recognition that life is a journey, one that requires ongoing development and refinement. For a woman committed to excellence, this journey is not a path of mere comfort, but one of consistent growth, driven by a deep desire to reach her full potential. At the heart of striving for excellence is the rejection of mediocrity. Mediocrity is easy. It's the path of least resistance, the choice to do just enough to get by, to settle for what is convenient rather than what is meaningful. But a woman with high standards does not settle. She refuses to accept anything less than her best, not out of pride, but out of a profound respect for herself and the life she could lead. She is fully aware that her potential is far greater than what she could achieve by simply doing the bare minimum. So she pushes herself beyond her comfort zone, seeking to grow and challenge herself constantly. Striving for excellence also requires a commitment to discipline. Excellence does not happen by accident or without effort. It demands consistency even when the initial excitement wears off and when the results aren't immediately visible. A woman who pursues excellence understands that she must show up every day no matter how she feels, no matter the external distractions. She builds the habits that lead to success, even if that means sacrificing short-term pleasures for long-term gains. Discipline is the foundation upon which excellence is built, and it requires the ability to stay focused, to stay the course, and to keep working, even when progress feels slow or hard. But striving for excellence also involves a willingness to learn. No one is ever truly finished, or perfect excellence is an ongoing process, a series of incremental improvements made through experience, reflection, and education. A woman who keeps her standards high understands that she must remain open to feedback and criticism, for these are the tools that help refine her skills, sharpen her mind, and strengthen her character. She does not shy away from mistakes or failures, but instead embraces them as opportunities for growth. Each setback is seen as a lesson, an integral part of the journey toward becoming the best version of herself. To strive for excellence is also to embrace a sense of purpose. A woman with high standards knows that excellence is not something to be pursued for external validation or recognition. It is not about comparing herself to others, but about aligning her efforts with a higher purpose, something greater than herself. She asks herself, what can I contribute to the world? What can I offer that is truly valuable? Striving for excellence becomes a means to an end, the creation of a life that is meaningful, impactful, and true to her deepest values. Striving for excellence is about constantly evolving, constantly striving to become the best version of oneself, not out of a desire to be better than others, but to fulfill the potential that lies within. It's a path that requires persistence, discipline, humility, and above all, a deep respect for the journey itself. For a woman who keeps her standards high, excellence is not just a goal, it is a way of life. Emotional regulation is a critical skill for a woman who keeps her standards high. It is not about suppressing emotions or pretending to be unaffected by the challenges of life. Instead, it is the ability to understand, manage, and respond to emotions in a constructive way. Emotions are natural and unavoidable. They are part of the human experience. However, how one chooses to express and act upon those emotions can determine the course of one's life. A woman who maintains high standards does not allow her emotions to control her decisions or actions, but rather she harnesses them in a way that aligns with her values and goals. At its core, emotional regulation is about self-awareness. A woman with high standards knows that her emotions, whether positive or negative, are signals, indicators of her internal state and her responses to the world around her. She is attuned to her feelings, able to identify them and understand their root causes. This awareness allows her to step back and evaluate whether her emotional response is truly justified or if it is being influenced by external circumstances or old patterns of thinking. Rather than reacting impulsively, she chooses to reflect before responding, creating the space needed to make thoughtful, measured decisions. Emotional regulation also involves taking responsibility for one's feelings. While it is easy to blame others or external situations for how we feel, a woman who keeps her standards high understands that her emotions are hers to manage. She does not give her power away by allowing others to dictate her emotional state. If she feels anger, frustration, or disappointment, she does not deny these emotions, but she chooses how to express them in ways that are appropriate and constructive. She does not lash out, manipulate, or seek to make others feel responsible for her emotional well-being. Instead, she takes ownership of her emotions, understanding that she has the capacity to choose how to respond to them. This process requires emotional resilience, the ability to endure difficult emotions without being consumed by them. A woman who maintains high standards knows that life will inevitably bring challenges, disappointments, and hard actions. It is in these moments that emotional regulation becomes most important. Rather than letting sorrow or frustration overwhelm her, she leans into resilience. She knows that emotions, while powerful, are temporary and they do not define her. She learns to ride the waves of difficult emotions, allowing them to pass without letting them cloud her judgment or derail her progress. Emotional regulation enhances relationships. A woman who can manage her emotions effectively creates an environment of trust, respect, and understanding with those around her. When emotions are allowed to run unchecked, they can lead to conflict, misunderstandings, and damage to relationships. However, by regulating her emotions, she fosters healthy communication and resolves conflicts without resorting to defensive reactions or harmful behaviors. She is able to listen and respond to others with empathy, even when emotions run high, and she encourages a culture of emotional maturity within her relationships. Emotional regulation also supports mental clarity and decision-making. When emotions are not kept in check, they can cloud judgment and lead to impulsive decisions that may be regretted later. A woman with high standards knows that her ability to think clearly and make thoughtful choices depends on her ability to maintain emotional balance. She can assess situations calmly, weigh the consequences of her actions, and choose a course of action that aligns with her long-term goals rather than reacting based on immediate emotional impulses. Emotional regulation is not about avoiding emotions or pretending they don't exist. It is about learning to be in control of them, not letting them control her. It is a vital tool for maintaining her high standards, ensuring that her actions, decisions, and relationships are consistent with the person she strives to be. Through emotional regulation, a woman who keeps her standards high remains grounded, focused, and resilient in the face of life's ups and downs, ensuring that her emotional world works for her, not against her. Integrity in relationships is a cornerstone for a woman who keeps her standards high. It goes beyond mere honesty and is about being true to herself, her values, and her commitments. Integrity means that her actions, words, and intentions are consistently aligned with her deepest beliefs, regardless of the circumstances or the people involved. For a woman who holds high standards, integrity is not a choice made only in convenient moments. It is a way of being that governs every aspect of her interactions. At the core of integrity is authenticity. A woman with high standards does not wear masks or present herself in ways that are inconsistent with who she truly is. She does not mold herself to fit the expectations of others or seek approval by pretending to be someone she is not. She understands that her worth is not contingent upon the approval of others, and she remains steadfast in expressing her true self. When she enters a relationship, whether personal or professional, she does so with a commitment to being open, honest, and transparent. This authenticity builds trust, for those around her know that they are engaging with a real person, not a version shaped by fear or insecurity. Integrity also means honoring her word. When she commits to something, whether it is a small promise or a larger responsibility, she follows through. She understands that her word is a reflection of her character, and that breaking promises, even seemingly minor ones, undermines the trust and respect she has worked to build. A woman who keeps her standards high knows that integrity in relationships is built on the reliability of her actions. She does not make promises lightly, but when she does, she ensures that she meets them. She recognizes that a failure to follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, erodes trust and creates cracks in the foundation of a relationship. In relationships, integrity also involves treating others with the same respect and honesty that she demands for herself. She sets clear boundaries and ensures that they are respected, not only by others, but by herself as well. She does not tolerate manipulation, dishonesty, or disrespect, whether it comes from friends, family, or romantic partners. She is not afraid to speak up when something is wrong, and she does so with the intention of fostering understanding and resolution, not conflict or confrontation for the sake of being right. Her integrity demands that she confront issues head-on, rather than ignoring or sweeping them under the rug, which only allows resentment and misunderstanding to fester. A woman with high standards also practices integrity by recognizing her own role in relationships and taking responsibility for her actions. She does not play the victim or blame others for challenges that arise. Instead, she takes an honest inventory of her own contributions to the dynamics of the relationship. She is willing to apologize when she is wrong, to own up to her mistakes, and to work toward reconciliation. Her commitment to personal growth ensures that she is constantly striving to improve herself in the context of her relationships, not just when things go smoothly, but especially when difficulties arise. Integrity also requires a woman to make difficult decisions, even if it means walking away from relationships that no longer serve her well or align with her values. She is not afraid to let go of toxic dynamics or situations where her integrity is compromised. While this may involve difficult emotional work, it is a necessary step for preserving her sense of self-respect and ensuring that her relationships remain healthy and nurturing. She does not stay in relationships out of obligation, fear, or a sense of duty. She remains only where there is mutual respect, honesty, and a genuine alignment of values. Integrity in relationships is about being consistent, reliable, and true to oneself and values. A woman who keeps her standards high understands that the foundation of any meaningful relationship is trust. This trust, once broken, is difficult to rebuild. Therefore, she chooses to live with integrity, always striving to be the best version of herself in her interactions with others. She understands that the strength and depth of her relationships are a direct reflection of the integrity she brings to them. Purpose and direction are essential elements in the life of a woman who keeps her standards high. A woman with purpose is not aimlessly drifting through life. She is deliberate, focused, and intentional in her actions. Her sense of direction is clear, guiding her decisions, shaping her behavior, and influencing the way she approaches every challenge. Purpose is the anchor that keeps her grounded, especially when the storms of life threaten to unsettle her. It provides her with a clear understanding of what she wants to achieve and why, helping her stay committed to her goals and navigate obstacles with resilience and clarity. For a woman who maintains high standards, purpose is not a superficial pursuit, but a deeply held conviction. She knows that her time and energy are precious, and she does not waste them on pursuits that do not align with her values or long-term vision. Her purpose is rooted in her values, whether they center around personal growth, making a difference in the lives of others, achieving excellence in her field, or creating a life filled with meaning. This sense of purpose drives her to live each day with intention, to set clear, meaningful goals, and to work consistently toward achieving them. A woman with a strong sense of purpose also has a sense of direction. While purpose provides the wide direction, gives her the how. Her direction is shaped by the goals she sets for herself, whether in her career, relationships, or personal development. She knows that direction is not always linear, and that she may face detours or setbacks along the way. However, she does not allow these obstacles to divert her from her path. Instead, she uses them as opportunities for learning and growth, adapting her approach as needed, but always staying aligned with her greater purpose. Having purpose and direction also means making difficult choices when necessary. A woman with high standards understands that not every opportunity, no matter how appealing, will serve her greater purpose. She is discerning, choosing to prioritize what matters most to her, even if it means saying no to distractions or temptations that may lead her off course. This requires discipline and self-awareness, as she must regularly assess whether her actions and choices are in alignment with her vision for her life. Purpose and direction provide a sense of fulfillment. A woman who lives with purpose is not waiting for external validation to tell her that her life is meaningful. She measures her progress against her own standards, not the expectations of others. She recognizes that fulfillment comes not from fleeting achievements or external recognition, but from the knowledge that she is living authentically and in alignment with her deepest desires. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward becoming the person she knows she is meant to be. Purpose and direction foster resilience. In life, challenges are inevitable. There will be moments of doubt, fear, and failure, but a woman with a clear purpose is better equipped to handle these moments with grace and determination. She understands that setbacks do not define her or derail her purpose. Instead, they are part of the process. Her direction provides her with the motivation to keep going, even when things are difficult. She knows that her commitment to her purpose is what will ultimately carry her through the toughest of times. In every aspect of her life, a woman with purpose and direction is intentional. She does not leave things to chance or follow the whims of others. She takes responsibility for the life she is creating, knowing that her choices shape her future. With each decision, she moves closer to the fulfillment of her vision, staying true to the values and goals that give her life meaning and direction. In conclusion, a woman who keeps her standards high embodies the essence of personal strength, integrity, and intentional living. By embracing personal responsibility, she takes ownership of her life and choices, understanding that her actions shape her future. Through self-respect and clear boundaries, she cultivates relationships based on mutual respect and honesty. Her pursuit of excellence is not a search for perfection, but a commitment to continual growth and improvement, grounded in discipline, resilience, and purpose. Emotional regulation allows her to maintain control over her responses, ensuring that her decisions are guided by clarity rather than impulse. Integrity in relationships, rooted in authenticity and accountability, strengthens the trust and connections she builds with others. Finally, with a clear sense of purpose and direction, she remains focused on her goals, unwavering in the face of adversity, and committed to living a life aligned with her values. Ultimately, a woman with high standards is a powerful force guided by her inner strength, always evolving and relentlessly pursuing the best version of herself.